Probably the single most confused word that we find with Himalayan art and with Buddhist art is the term bodhisattva. Bodhisattva actually has a number of different meanings, but the word itself is primarily associated with Mahayana Buddhism. It's an abstract term that refers to an aspirant to enlightenment, somebody who is seeking enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. But when it comes to art, then it's often used or misused by individuals to mean a peaceful figure. Any peaceful, one-faced, two-armed deity or narrative figure is regarded as a bodhisattva. This we can't change. This is fixed in the culture, and it's a little bit fixed in the Himalayan cultures and Tibetan cultures as well, where even the artists themselves will sometimes treat the term peaceful deity or deva or devi appearance and bodhisattva appearance as the same. So this is just something we have to live with. But it's important to understand that the term bodhisattva in Mahayana Buddhism is an abstract term. It's talking about a function and a behavior. It's not talking about an appearance in Mahayana Buddhism. In Vajrayana Buddhism, we primarily have deities. Yes, we still have bodhisattvas that appear in art, and bodhisattvas that can appear very rarely, but in a few cases we have a bodhisattva who appears as a central figure, and primarily they're Manjushri, Vajrapani, and Avalokiteshvara. Otherwise, the bodhisattvas can be retinue figures, but again, only in one or two mandalas in Kriya Tantra, and then possibly a mandala or two in Charya, and then we find them sporadically in the Yoga Tantra with the Sarva Durgati having a set of 16 bodhisattvas as retinue figures. But when we look at what we call bodhisattvas as central figures in Vajrayana Buddhism, then we don't call them bodhisattvas, we call them meditational deities. And we will get into that a little bit later. But I think what's important now is to understand the number sets for bodhisattvas, because they're very few. And the number sets are the two, Surya Prabha and Chandra Prabha, and these two are the side figures, the attendant figures for the Medicine Buddha in the Medicine Buddha mandala. And they stand out. They're a little bit important because they will often be painted or depicted in sculpture next to a Medicine Buddha figure or sculpture. Next we have the three Bodhisattva lords. And I've added Bodhisattva here because normally we call them the three lords of the world, but it's very confusing because they are well-known Bodhisattvas. So the three lords of the world are Manjushri, Avalokiteshvara, and Vajrapani. And in the Vajrayana grouping, which this is, then they're actually meditational deities. They're regarded as the lords of the world, not called directly bodhisattvas. But we know them as bodhisattvas from the Sutrayana tradition, from the Mahayana tradition, where bodhisattvas, as they are recounted in the sutras, it's all within a narrative. It's all within the Buddha at one time dwelt at some place. Somebody asked a question. Certain bodhisattvas were there, and their names were Avalokiteshvara, Manjushri, Samantabhadra, etc. It's all within a narrative context, not within a formal iconographic and visual context. So in Vajrayana Buddhism, primarily it's meditational deities, and bodhisattvas are only retinue figures in a few mandalas, not all mandalas. So We have the Surya Prabha and Chandra Prabha from the Medicine Buddha Mandala. Then we have the 3 Bodhisattva lords, the 3 lords of the world. Then we have the 16 Great Bodhisattvas, which primarily in art belong to the Medicine Buddha cycle. Now, there are a number of different 16 great bodhisattvas, and they belong to certain yoga and yoga tantra mandalas. But the names can change. It's not the same set of 16. So I think it's just important that we understand that there's the bodhisattva number sets. And again, think a little bit about separating the abstract concept of bodhisattva, which we find in the Sutrayana Mahayana tradition, from the concept of bodhisattvas in art, in Vajrayana, where they're only retinue figures in Vajrayana Buddhism. Press the like button. You can subscribe. You can also help support the work we do on Patreon.